Good morning. Welcome to United First Parish Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey, welcome to our Unitarian Universalist spiritual community. As we gather this morning, we acknowledge that we are on the traditional lands of the Neponset Band of the Massachusetts tribe, a people who have lived here for generations and who live here to this day. I'm the Reverend Rebecca Froome, lead minister here at UFPC, and my pronouns are she and her. Friends from near and afar, folks joining us here in our historic sanctuary, and those joining us over live stream, welcome. And a special welcome to any first or second time visitors we might have with us. If this is one of your first times worshiping with us and you feel comfortable, I invite you to raise your hand up high, and our ushers have a small token of welcome for you. Up here towards the front, Marilyn, pew 54, and also there at the back. Pew 54 is the president's pew. I don't have them all memorized, just the Adams pew. Visitors, we extend a special invitation for you to join us for social hour after the service. Today's social hour includes lunch, more about that in the announcements. We gather in the parish hall, which is through these doors behind me, and our ministerial intern, Ann Parsley, and I look forward to greeting you all after the postlude by this door on your right. Our worship team this morning, we've got a really great crew on staff. We have our acting director of music, Tony Winters. We have our ministerial intern, Ann Parsley, who will be giving the sermon. Elizabeth Foster will be giving the message for all ages. Our greeters and ushers include Albert and Bill and Marilyn, and we have Jordan managing the live stream this morning. And live stream folks, I regret to inform you, we won't have hymns in the chat, and that is on me, and I apologize. The lyrics. So you can sing along from home, but without all of the lyrics. We do strive to be a welcoming community to people of all ages and abilities. In the back of the sanctuary near our ushers, you will find hearing assistance headsets, large print hymnals, as well as children's books and drawing materials that families can bring to their seats. And we have a handicapped accessible bathrooms on our lower level, which can be accessed through by stairs or elevator in the foyer. If you need to use the restroom during the service, please see an usher. And now, as we prepare ourselves for worship, let's take a deep breath together, feeling that spirit of life, that spirit of love that moves within, between, and beyond us all. And with our hearts open for worship, I invite the Reverend Derek Jackson to share a reading as we light our chalice, a symbol of the Unitarian Universalist faith.
As Reverend Rebecca lights our chalice, I will share with you these words by Eric Halpern. We light this flame to remind us, love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains.
My name is Ann Parsley. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the ministerial intern here. And I invite you now to rise as you are willing and able and join in reading our congregation's covenant. The words are found in your order of service. As a free fellowship of this historic church, we unite to lift our hearts and open our minds to a larger reality, to accept, support, and encourage one another, to seek the wisdom in all religions, to cherish and sustain the web of life, and to strive for justice, compassion, and peace. And let us greet one another now in this spirit of fellowship and peace. As we remain standing in body or spirit, let us lift our voices in song with "There is More Love Somewhere." Tony will lead us. We don't need the hymnal on this one.
So I'll just shout out the verses to you. This is a nice, easy song for you to learn. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. Let's do that one again. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more joy. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. There is more peace. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more love. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere.
And I would love to invite all of our children and families and folks who are young at heart up to all of our Spirit Circle folks up to participate in our Time for All Ages. You can just come right on up to the front of the sanctuary here. And I see that Reverend Rebecca has a mystery basket for us.
And I wonder what is in the mystery basket. Would anyone like to see? What is it?
A water bottle.
A water bottle. And oh my goodness, there's a second thing. Kendra, would you?
A surfboard.
What? That's the smallest surfboard I've ever seen. It's a picture.
I couldn't quite fit a whole surfboard into our mystery basket. So I had these objects with me today, and we could call them pieces of equipment. And as we said, one of them was this bottle that you could put hot water in. And one of them was a surfboard. Does anyone have a guess what our story is about from these objects? Does it help at all if I tell you that our service is focused on placing love at the center and some ways to do that? So we're going to find out together. Most of the time, wild animals can take care of themselves in pretty much all seasons, including winter. But occasionally, there are times when some weather becomes too much, even for wild animals. So this is a true story, and it's a story that could have happened anywhere, but with different people and maybe different birds. But this particular story took place in the winter of 2024 in Iceland. And very far north, further north than anywhere in the US except for Alaska, the capital and largest city of Iceland is Reykjavik. And in early December 2024, on a social media page in Reykjavik, there was a report that there was a young swan stuck and frozen to the ice, and they were worried that it was getting really sick. As often happens when somebody posts news like that, different people, lots of people commented. Some with worry, some with questions, some with opinions. And people wrote, "Is it possible to help? What can we do? What did this swan do to get itself stuck?" Lots of worry, lots of wondering. Then someone named Kirsten, who described herself as a naturalist, and she responded to the social media page. Kirsten wrote, "I am on my way with the necessary equipment." What do you think the necessary equipment is to save a fully grown swan, a not fully grown swan who is frozen to the ice? Oh, someone said a water bottle. Yep. And a surfboard. Amazing guess. How did you guys figure that out? So yes, a thermos full of hot water to melt the ice that the swan was stuck to, and a surfboard in case the ice failed and the rescuers didn't want to fall into the cold and they needed to surf away. So Kirsten brought one more thing. Can anyone guess what that was? She brought a friend. Kirsten and her friend, with the help of the thermos and the backup surfboard and a bunch of people cheering them on, were able to thaw the ice and free the swan, which not too long after flew away. Now, when we have a hard thing to do ourselves, it's a good idea to have the right supplies to help us get it done. And it's even more true when we want to help someone else or help the whole planet. We need to use the equipment we have or gather the necessary equipment or create it. And then when the right time arises, we use it. And sometimes the most important time is right now, and the most important thing is to help. And the most important person or being or swan is the one who needs help right here and right now. The necessary equipment might not always be a thermos with hot water, though I can think of other situations where that might help. And the necessary equipment might not always be a surfboard. There are probably fewer times when we need a surfboard. But I'm going to say that in most situations, a friend or a companion or an ally is definitely something that I consider necessary equipment. It's so important that we not go it alone. Doing things together is kind of a necessary equipment for life. And this is a new story from Karen G. Johnston. And at the end of our time, this time for all ages, I'm going to invite our Spirit Circle folks to come downstairs with me for our program, and Reverend Rebecca's going to help sing us out.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. The Lord as you go. Through the sharing of our joys and our sorrows, we create a sacred space where we are deeply present with ourselves and one another. This is a time for us to briefly share those life milestones that fill us with joy or hope, or those pains and losses that fill us with heartache. If you have a joy or a sorrow to share, in a moment, I invite you to come forward to this microphone. Alternatively, you can raise your hand and Marilyn will bring the microphone to you. And when you share, please first say your name so that we might all know and hear you. As we begin our sharing, we light a candle of joy, knowing that a joy shared is a joy magnified. And we also light a candle of sorrow, knowing that a sorrow shared is a burden lightened. Let us open our hearts to one another. Our sharing, we light a final candle, representing all of those joys and all of those sorrows that we hold silently in the sanctuary of our hearts. May the light of these candles and the compassion of this community remind us that wherever we are on our journey, each of us is worthy of love, and each of us is able to love. Let us take a deep breath together, returning as we always can to that breath of love that is there to ground and guide us. Breathe in, breathe out. Noticing the beautiful strength and precious vulnerability of your own body. Breathe in, breathe out. As we enter into a time of shared meditation here in the city silence. Will you lift your hearts and join me in the spirit of prayer, listening in these words for the language of faith most meaningful to you? eternal presence, known by many names, known in many ways. We gather this morning as a community of care and compassion, as a community of courageous love, grateful for the many threads that connect us, grateful for the gifts of family and friends visiting from near and afar, grateful for the ability to live our values out loud here in this community, within and beyond these sanctuary walls. Beloveds, there are times that we enter this space with weary hearts, worn down, hearts broken from what we see in the world around us, weary from having been in fights for social justice for so long. And there are times that we find joy and strength in one another, in coming together in big and small ways, in personal conversations and public acts of witness to build that world we dream about. We give thanks for these times. And source of our being, source of our goodness, we know that life is full of growth and full of change. We open our hearts to all those that find themselves in places of transition, new homes, new jobs, lost jobs, health that is changing, children who are growing up. The world around us changes and we ourselves change and grow. May we journey together throughout the many places that life takes us, and may our journeys be a blessing to the world. We pray this for love's sake. Amen, and blessed be. As you remain seated, will you join me in singing hymn number 299, Make Channels for the Streams of Love.
Make channels for the streams of love where they may broadly flow, and love has overflowing streams to fill them everyone. But if at time we such channels to provide, the very funds of love for us will soon be parched and dry. For we must share with
Today's reading is by Esther Hurlbert. It is not always easy. It is not always easy to find love at the center. There is not a set of easy instructions, numbered 1 through 7, or maybe 8. It is not always easy to find love at the center. Today, in covenant, we celebrate our living tradition, which invites us to take deep breaths of fresh air into the newness of every day, so that our minds, hearts, and spirits will be continually nourished. It is not always easy to find love at the center. So for today, we gather in covenant to celebrate the reality that love is at the core of our beings, and that love will guide us if we open ourselves to the challenges which love requires of us. May we accept this challenge with dignity and grace.
As we move into the second half of the service here, I wanted to offer you this piece of music from one of my favorite artists by the name of Derek Webb. This is a song that he wrote as a dedication to LGBTQ youth. And I find it more meaningful now than I ever have before. Headlines scream and voices cry like slinging stone. The hate they wield, a sharpened knife, it cuts the hope. They twist the truth, they spread the fear to hide the lie. When the world feels dark and the path unclear, you realize, child, this may be the time to close your eyes. The preachers rage, the pundits sneer, a war of words. They twist religion, make it hate, they lock the doors. Their moral high ground planted flags, their martyrs cry. They judge and scorn and fail to see the rainbow skies. Child, this may be the time to close your eyes. But listen softly for the sound, the burning fuse. Igniting painters, activists, prophets bringing news of family stories, hearts and minds opening wide. The hopes of all their painted bruises realize. Of all God's children's thriving lives, may this be the day. Of husbands, husbands, wives and wives, may this be the day. When beauty's beauty and love is love, may this be the day. Thank God you're safe and you're enough, may this be the day. When all the faceless hear their names, let this be the night. When all the shapeless rest in frames, let this be the night. When all your tears are wiped away, let this be the night. When all true justice falls like rain, let this be the night. Oh child, this may be the time. Open up your eyes. Open up your eyes.
The story of PFLAG starts with a mama bear. In 1972, the members of the Gay Activists Alliance in New York City seized the stage at an event in a hotel to gain attention for a proposed new city law about gay rights. During that protest, a gay activist named Morty Manford was assaulted and seriously beaten. The assailant was acquitted, which didn't surprise very many people. Morty's mother, Jean Manford, was furious. She loved her son, and she was proud of his courage in taking public action and demanding equal rights for the gay community. She wrote a letter to the editor of the New York Post, thanking them for their honest coverage of the event. And she expressed her outrage at the violence that so often was aimed at gay people, and her strong support of both her son's activist work and the gay community's right to be accepted and treated with respect. In those days, this kind of letter to the editor was not the norm. Her letter attracted a lot of attention, and people all over New York were talking about it. Later that year, Jean Munford walked alongside Morty in the Christopher Street Liberation Day Parade in Greenwich Village, carrying a big sign that said, "Parents of gays unite in support for our children." This was not just unusual, this was unprecedented. A photograph of Jean and her sign was widely published, and many parents were inspired to reach out to her and ask how they could support their gay children. So Jean and her husband Jules, Morty's parents, held a meeting for those parents who had asked, how can we support our gay children? And the organization which emerged from their first meeting in 1973 was originally just called Parents of Gays. And they marched with their gay children in the 1973 Christopher Street Liberation Day Parade. In the following years, through word of mouth, similar groups sprang up all around the country, offering safe havens and mutual support for parents with gay children. Because the parents also had to come out of the closet and also risked trouble, anger, and fear, because speaking out on behalf of their gay children made the parents also targets of bigotry and hate. Allies need allies to help them stay strong and learn to express their love in words and actions, and that is what these groups were doing. By 1982, the organization was national, and now they called themselves Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, and there we get the acronym PFLAG. By 1990, they had chapters in most states, and during that decade, bisexual and transgender people were officially included in the organization's mission. And so after some wrangling with the difficulties of an ever-expanding acronym, in 2014, they officially changed their name to just PFLAG. It's not an acronym. It doesn't stand for a bunch of things that we have to keep adding to. It's not an acronym, it's just a name, so that like the community it serves, it cannot be broken apart. It is united. And today there are hundreds of chapters in all 50 states, including a chapter in Quincy, as some of you know very, very well, and as we heard earlier today. Thank you for that introduction, by the way, that was great. The Quincy PFLAG Support Group is part of the Greater Boston chapter, and was started about 3 years ago by after a town hall meeting held by the LGBTQ Commission. They simply asked, what do the residents of this city need from us? And this is what resulted. Several members of this congregation, as we heard, have been involved with founding or participating in the local PFLAG support group, and it meets here. So, to prepare for today's sermon, I did some research, because that's what you do. And I read up on PFLAG, and then I went looking for how to be a good ally on the internet. And the first website I chose to visit came up with an article called "Dear Ally, Listen Up." I thought, that sounds good. And when I went to that page, there was a pop-up that covered the whole screen, and it said, "How to use this website safely. You can quickly leave this website by tapping 3 times on your mobile screen or hitting the escape key. To browse this site safely, be sure to clear your browser history regularly." This is why we still need PFLAG. This is why we allies need allies. Because 50 years after Jean Manford marched with her son and her one single sign, today's pride marches are bigger and bolder, but the creators of that website who are trying to support youth who are queer themselves or who are allies who are looking for how to support them, they know they have to put up a warning. Somebody might be looking over your shoulder and might not approve of this website and what you're learning from it. And when I realized that, it made me shiver, and then it made me mad. I was very small when Jean Manford marched, but I remember in the 1980s, my best friend Matthew came out as gay, and it was a challenge. His mom was cool about it. My parents were cool about it. But Matthew was really lucky, and he knew it, because we both knew people whose parents were not cool about it at all. It was a big risk for people to come out. And even today, it's still a risk. Things are better, but they're not all better. PFLAG was created by people who love their queer children and family and friends. And like me, a lot of them are cis-het straight folks who are privileged enough never to have to worry about who's looking over their shoulder. But they're allies. So what does it mean to be an ally? It's more than just displaying rainbow flags. Being an ally is taking action and having humility. It involves work and sometimes risk, and it's rooted in love. In the name of love, allies do small things and big things, individually and collectively. And it's the big collective actions that make the news. For love, they file lawsuits against cities and states and the US government and the US military, and they say, "Don't you dare discriminate against our children and our families and our friends. It's unconstitutional." For love, they march and vote and write to their legislative representatives and write letters to the editor and say, "Love is love, and everybody has the right to marry whomever they love." For love, they put on rainbow t-shirts and hang up rainbow flags and go to the pride parades to offer mom hugs and dad hugs to people whose moms and dads haven't hugged them in a long, long time. I remember in the 90s when, for love, the allies sat by hospital beds, people they didn't even know, and demanded funding for AIDS research, and crafted panels for the AIDS quilt, which is still a thing, by the way. These days, they're helping people pick up and move to safer states because some people feel that their queer children are not safe. I have classmates who are contemplating moving to Massachusetts because their queer children might be a little safer here, and other classmates waiting to welcome them. But arguably the little things that allies can do are more important because they get woven into daily life as a constant message of love. For love, they listen to their children and their friends. When the children say, "Ooh, don't say that, it's a microaggression," they don't say, "It's no big deal." They listen and they say, "Oh, what should I say instead? How could I do better?" For love, they learn to ask about pronouns and do their very best to remember to use the right ones and apologize when they forget. And for love, they remind other people that pronouns matter and correct them when they misgender someone. For love, they speak up when their relatives or their coworkers or their friends make those nasty jokes. And they say, "Knock it off, that's not funny. It's rude. I don't want to hear that." For love, they speak up at the school board meetings and the public library board meetings, and they say, "Don't you dare ban those books that represent our children and our friends and our families. That's cruel." Now, it can be risky for the allies to confront their own relatives and friends and coworkers about their microaggressions, or to speak up in the town meetings and challenge their neighbors' bigotry. They risk losing their own safe status or their own good relationships with families and communities. But love is more important than privilege, and so the allies speak up. Back in the 19th century, the Universalists used to hold outdoor revival meetings. And they would put up a big sign over the stage that just said, "God is love." I think it works the other way too. Love is God. When we speak with love and we act from love, that is my idea of the Holy Spirit. Love in our hearts is holy too. But if we keep it silently in our heart forever, our love doesn't do much good in the world. The magic happens when you speak up about your love and take action rooted in your love, because the more openly you express your love, the more your love grows. Give away love, and you will find you have more love than you started out with. Esther Hurlbut wrote that love will guide us if we open ourselves to the challenges which love requires of us, because even speaking up can be a challenge. Don't spoil the birthday party by telling Grandma that her jokes are rude. Grandma's old. That's just her sense of humor. She's just that way. May we accept this challenge with dignity and grace, says Esther Hurlbut. Don't get into a shouting match with Grandma, no, but if we don't speak up, then our queer cousin and her girlfriend will know that we value Grandma's complacency over their true nature and their right to respect. They will not feel loved. They won't come to the next family party. And the children will assume that Grandma's jokes are the way we talk in this family. And when they grow up, they will tell the same jokes. Now, if Grandma gets mad at you for speaking up, and the rest of the family gets mad at you, you might not be invited back to the next family party. But your queer cousin and her girlfriend will hold their own party and invite you. And your children will notice which party you go to. Speaking up matters, and it's not just in the big ways at the rallies or testifying before Congress. That's good. But it especially matters in the little moments, day in and day out, when we live our faith by demonstrating our love. Allies aren't perfect because they're humans, but they need to try to do their best. A woman changing her name to match her husband's name is pretty common. And given how many women still do that, you would think that when someone else changes their name, it wouldn't be that hard to remember. We can cut the Allies a little bit of slack, though. They mean well, but it can be hard to name a person differently than you have named them for maybe their whole life. I mean, it was 2 years after I got married that my aunt stopped addressing letters and birthday checks to my maiden name. And she was at the wedding, so she definitely knew I had changed my name. But the Allies do their best, and when they get it wrong, they apologize and they do better, because they act out of love. They may begin by wanting to protect and support this one person, their own child. For most people, it's natural to want to protect your own children. But then the Allies look around and they band together to protect and support other people who are similar to their child and experiencing the same type of discrimination and oppression. And then, their eyes having been opened to notice discrimination and oppression that does not affect them personally, they usually start to notice and oppose discrimination and oppression of other groups as well. Today I'm talking about PFLAG because it's LGBTQIA History Month. But allyship is about love, and it is intersectional because our love overflows into other channels. Because someone might be queer and black, or queer and disabled. And you can't just love part of a person. And you can't just support part of a person. People have already said a lot today about the rally yesterday, but I wanted to add that I think John Adams and Abigail and their boy JQ would be very proud of how this church hosted the No Kings rally yesterday. John Quincy Adams spoke from this pulpit as an ally advocating the abolition of slavery. LGBTQ rights were not on the radar in their time period, but I think they would be proud to know that in this church they helped build, we are carrying on their fight for liberty and justice for all. Not only by hosting the protests, but also by having a PFLAG meeting and hanging up rainbow flags over the parish hall. Rainbow flags alone are not enough, but they are a beacon of love, and they attract people to this church. Because in this church, love is at the center. Love is God, and God is love. We are all called to be allies, and it is love that is calling us to that holy work. Please rise now in body or spirit as you feel able, and join us in singing what we call hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People, but which many people call Singing for Our Lives by Holly Near. And this song was written, in case you don't remember, after the assassination of Harvey Milk, the gay supervisor of the city of San Francisco, because Holly Near didn't want to take it anymore. She wanted to speak out.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Justice seeking, the justice seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. seeking people, and we are singing for our life. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are the child of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives.
You may be seated. We drink from wells we did not dig, and we worship in a sanctuary we did not build. As a voluntary association, our church is sustained through the generosity of our members and friends, past and present. We've heard today, in joys and sorrows and in the sermon, the many ways in which we share the gift of our building with the wider world. From meetings held in the parish hall to social justice events that use our portico as the stage as we literally bring our values to the public square. And so your generosity supports our building, and our building supports living our values in the wider world. You can give online by going to ufpc.org and clicking on the donate button, or by placing a contribution in the offering plate. If this is your first time worshiping with us, we invite you to let the offering plate pass you by. Your presence here today is your gift to us, and we hope you will join us following the service for social hour. May the ushers please come forward so the morning offering to support the good works of United First Parish Church might be joyfully given, and know that it will be gratefully received.
wind and rain stopped blowing, and you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your umbrella, darling, I'm just here to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head.
We gather in many ways to nourish the spirit, put our faith into action, and so we have an abundant insert of announcements this morning, which you can read. We are in a beautiful, busy time at United First Parish Church, and so today in social hour, the worship committee and the religious education committee have teamed up to buy everyone lunch. So you can get box lunch in the social hour, and then buy some Cupcakes for a Cause, a social justice action committee event, where the proceeds are benefiting PFLAG. And then after lunch and cupcakes, there's the option of going on a field trip to Holly Hill Farm to do what has become an annual service learning, getting your hands in the garden to help harvest vegetables that are donated to local food pantries. On site, we are having a greeter and usher orientation, annual gathering, remembering, and learning new skills for how greeters and ushers do their wonderful things. So for greeters and ushers, you can grab your lunch and bring it downstairs to the dining room around 12:15 for that event. And while you are enjoying your cupcakes, please stop by the table we have in the social hour and write a card for Norman Corey, our retiring music director who was with us for 43 years. Next Sunday, October 26th, we will be celebrating Norman, so please do come for that special Sunday. We'll deliver these cards. He's gonna play music. He's been coming in to rehearse, so we'll hear him again on the piano and the organ. The choir has chosen like some of their favorite pieces from Norman's repertoire, and it's gonna be a beautiful day for celebrating the gift of music and Norman's decades of music ministry with us. 2 weekends from now, I've been like counting, being like, wait, what's when? 2 weekends from now is the ordination service for Shiloh Hoffman, who is our ministerial intern in 2022 to 2024. So we are the ones who will lay our hands on Shiloh, and along with First Parish Bridgewater, at the end of that afternoon, Shiloh Hoffman will be the Reverend Shiloh Hoffman. So we can all take joy in that. Please come to that on Saturday, November 1st. And in case that wasn't enough, on October 30th is our annual presidential wreath-laying ceremony in honor of the birthday of President John Adams. So we have something for everyone, every day of the week, it seems, every time of the day. Yes. And so now I invite Anne to come back up and invite you all to rise as you are willing and able, and place your hand over your heart for our words of benediction.
The words of our benediction today are by Rebecca Edmiston Lang. Mindful of our highest aspirations, bound by common faith and purpose, and yet beginning with ourselves as we are, let us take one more step together in our unending quest for dignity, justice, and love. Amen. Please turn toward the center aisle and join me in singing our chalice extinguishing words as we offer one another a mutual benediction.
Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Carry the flame of peace and love High time we made a stand and shook up the views of the common man in the love train. Rides from coast to coast, DJ's the man we love the most. Could you be squeaky clean and smash any hope of democracy? 'Cause the headline says you're free to choose, but there's egg on your face and mud on your shoes. And one of these days they're gonna call it the blues, yeah, yeah. So we're sowing the seeds of love, the seeds of love. Sowing the seeds of love, the seeds of love, the seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, I spy tears in their eyes. They look to the skies for some kind of divine intervention. Food goes to waste, so nice to eat, so nice to taste. Politician man with your high ideals, have you no idea how the majority feels? 'Cause without love and the promised land, we're fools to the rules of a government plan. Kick out the style, bring back the jam. Sowing the seeds of love, with seeds of love. We're sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, an end to need, and the politics of greed with love. Feel the pain, talk about it. If you're a worried one, then shout about it. Open hearts, feel about it. Open minds, think about it. Everyone, read about it. Everyone, scream about it. Everyone, about it, read about it. Read it in the books, in the crannies and the nooks. There are books to read. Time to eat all your words, swallow your pride, open your eyes. Time to eat all your words, swallow your pride, open your eyes. High time we made a stand and shook up the views of the common man in the love train. Rides from coast to coast, every minute of every hour. I love a sunflower, and I believe in love power, love power, love power. Sowing the seeds of love, the seeds of love. Sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds of love, the seeds of love. Sowing the seeds of love. We're sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds. An end to need, and the politics of greed with love. Blessed be.